This is the latest revised clutch hub for the Velocity 90. This hub features Titan tolerances where the hub fits to the crankshaft of the motor to decrease the possibility of any run out and hence vibration. Fitting this hub is now quite tight onto the crankshaft, and also it's quite tight to remove, and I'm going to show you a hint for removing this shortly. Remember, before fitting this to the engine, to have the fan already mounted on the hub. For this video I don't yet have the fan on. On the engine, remember to have the factory installed shim washer on the crankshaft, and then slide this hub on. Again, remember the fan should already be mounted. Push it on as far as it will go. If it doesn't quite go all the way home, remove the back plate on the engine, and I like to use a crank locking tool which locks the bottom end of the motor, and then use the supplied nut that comes with your engine. Put that on with some Loctite. I just use a standard medium strength Loctite 243, and tighten it down, and this will pull the clutch hub down to the front bearing. I'll do that now and then show you a good tip for removing this assembly. So here's the installed clutch hub on the engine. Note that if you were doing this for real and using it in the model, the plastic fan would have already been mounted to the hub. After you've tightened the crankshaft nut, you would then tighten evenly the two pinch bolts which further secure the clutch hub to the engine crankshaft, and you would then of course mount the clutch onto the top of the clutch hub. What I'm going to do now is demonstrate how to remove this assembly from the engine. The first thing you would do is remove the clutch. So I've taken the clutch off. You would then place a crankshaft lock tool into the back of the engine, undo and remove the two pinch bolts, and then undo the crankshaft nut. Okay, I've already loosened the crankshaft nut, so I'm just going to undo it here. Now the secret is, at the moment, after you've taken the nut off, actually put it back on so it's about halfway back onto the engine crankshaft. The important thing being, you don't want any threads of the crankshaft sticking out the top of the nut. So I've put it about halfway back on. Next, take the clutch which you've removed and place this back on top of the nut, and then use two longer M4 cap screws out of your toolbox and place these back through the holes and thread them back into the clutch hub assembly. Tighten these evenly, keeping the clutch parallel to the clutch hub. Once these are done up finger tight, gently, half a turn at a time, tighten these two screws down evenly. And you will find that this slowly starts removing the clutch hub from the engine. So we're going to keep tightening these cap screws about half a turn at a time. As you can see, I'm doing a little bit more than half a turn. The main thing is you want the assembly to stay square as it's removed. Okay, Keep going like that, and this will slowly remove the hub from the engine. Once the hub gets a reasonable way off the engine, remove these two cap screws, and then you'll be able to pull the hub off by hand the rest of the way. This is a really great tip for removing the clutch hub from your engine.